Thank you very much. I am Michael Jordan, Filipino truckers from Europe.
Filipino drivers on European roads, the ultimate extent to which companies are willing to stretch to reduce labor costs at the expense of human well-being. These men spend 1 year in their truck, hundreds of days in a row working, eating, and sleeping in their 4-square-meter cabin.
That is my house. Bedroom with double-deck room.
The company that employs these workers was created in Latvia by a Swedish national who recruited drivers in the Philippines to make them drive almost exclusively in Western Europe. Why Latvia? Perhaps because it has the second lowest minimum wage in the European Union.
I spent 12 months on the road, and after 12 months, I take my vacation to the Philippines. After 45 days, I just coming back to sign another contract. It's 670 euros per month, but we have 20 euros per day for meal allowance.
Do you think it's a good salary for what you're doing?
Yes, for me, it's good salary for me because it's a big money for the Philippines, for my family. It's a big money. It's big help for my family.
Many Filipino drivers tell the same story. Despite their difficult working conditions, few of them say they feel exploited. Many, like Jimele, previously worked in Saudi Arabia under worse conditions. For them, Europe is a unique opportunity to provide a better life for their families.
This is my life, and I love my work.
Do you miss your country? Do you miss your family?
Yes, I miss my country, of course. I miss my wife, my son. But I have no other choice because I don't have a work in the Philippines. That's why I am here. It's better to work here than rather starve to death in the Philippines.
Faced with mounting criticism of the rules guiding road transport, the European Commission reacted in 2017 with the so-called mobility package.
There is no place for social dumping in European Union. In this context, the mobility package will provide truly European solution which combine the necessary protection of workers and at the same time aim at preventing the fragmentation of internal market.
The mobility package reforms a number of rules aimed at fighting against letterbox companies, extending a country's labor rights to all drivers operating on its territory, and regulating the number of deliveries a truck is allowed to perform in a foreign member state. The EU's initial goal was to remove restrictions on transport services while also aiming for the application of equal pay for equal work in the same place. This would ultimately set the stage for a years-long contentious political battle with divisions often marked along national rather than party lines. Redacted documents from EU institutions show how some interest groups tried to weigh in the debate. Business associations argued that the measures are discriminatory against Eastern Europe, push for additional flexibility in the sector, oppose an EU-wide enforcement agency, and label the reforms as a threat to entrepreneurial freedom. Member states also voiced their opinion. While some in the East say the measures are a blow to their economies and to the single market, others in the West claim it is a right step towards fair competition.
This is the problem within the European Union in general, yeah? Not only on the transport level, but you have to see it from both perspectives, you know. As I have spoken at that time with the Bulgarian minister, he told me, look, if you do your legislation as you wish, this will increase the voices of your populace in my member state. Then I responded him, if I don't do that, it will increase the voice of the populace in my member states.
truck drivers from Eastern European countries have protested against a new EU mobility package.
Transport workers of Europe are divided. Eastern European drivers believe that the application of higher social standards will threaten their access to the transport market. Western European drivers, on the other hand, think that opening the market further will equally phase them out of work. In the end, it's all about jobs. What some see as protectionism is seen by others as social rights. One person's competitive advantage is another person's unfair competition.
The freedom to work wherever you wish, of course we want to see that continue, but not at any cost. And whilst the standard of living may be cheaper in the East, that doesn't mean that those drivers who work in the West for Western countries and Western companies should be exploited. If you're working in Western Europe for a Western company, you should be paid Western European wages.
We would all love German wages. We don't have them. Don't kill the countries that support Europe the most with this horrible, horrible directive.
Drivers are not second-class workers in this union. They deserve exactly the same rights when it comes to posting like all other workers in the EU.
This is not the time to put at risk the internal market and therefore growth and jobs. And many of the amendments are doing exactly that.
Votre démarche est politiquement dangereuse, car la réponse des peuples à la jungle sociale, c'est la colère.
Despite years of discussions, the mobility package has yet to be formally adopted by the European Union. While some claim it punishes transporters from Eastern Europe, others believe it will improve the working conditions of drivers. Some of them can't wait any longer. 2 years after sharing his love for the job, Gemela resigned from his company after an argument with his boss over working conditions.
He told us, if you don't not happy anymore, we have a Ukrainian and you have a Georgian to replace you. And that's not good. Yeah, that's bullshit. I work hard. I spend my time in my truck. I gambled my health here, working here in company. And that's all I'm gonna hear from them. And that's bullshit.
Gemela now lives in Canada, where he works as a truck driver.